A New Brunswick man who traveled to Egypt for the global march to Gaza stepped onto a plane bound for Canada earlier than planned this weekend after being caught up in a dragnet targeting Palestine solidarity activists. Jeff Houlahan, a University of New Brunswick professor, was arrested and deported along with a number of other activists. He was back in Canada by Sunday night, Atlantic time. He was among thousands of people who intended to travel to Egypt's border with the Gaza Strip to demand the opening of the Rafah crossing to allow for the flow of international aid to Palestinians. On Friday, he sent the NB Media Co-op video clips that he took while he was on the road, along with this brief voice recording outlining his experiences so far.
We were all supposed to go to Al Ismailia. It's a town about an hour and a half from Cairo, to meet there. But the Egyptian government got wind of this, and so we were all instructed to take cabs or Ubers or whatever to Al Ismailia on our own, meet there. And some people got stopped at the first checkpoint and I don't know how many of our Canadian delegation, maybe 10 or 12. A bunch of people left very early for Al Ismailia and made it through all the way to Al Ismailia, but then got picked up basically off the street. I would say kidnapped would be a fair enough description, but then released. And I don't know. The first thoughts was that they were going to be deported. Maybe they were. I'm still not sure about that. I'm not sure whether they're in Cairo or headed home. And then about, I would guess, 30 of us made it through to the second checkpoint, and were stopped there around 2 or 2:30 Egypt time. And then we stayed there protesting. There was probably 700 or 800, maybe 1,000 people total from all the delegations. And we stayed there protesting through the afternoon into the evening, and then had settled down. We're going to actually just stay overnight and sleep and protest again the next day. But the police showed up in force and basically surrounded us. And so we stayed for quite a while still protesting. But eventually the delegation decided that all the delegations, the kind of coordinators for the international delegation, decided it was better if we stopped at that point, which was around maybe 11 o'clock at night Egyptian time. Things got a bit hairy after that. They weren't happy with how quickly we were moving. They grabbed our coordinator, Manuel Tapial. The women in our group particularly leaped in to make sure that they didn't take him. We all ended up in there just making sure that he wasn't taken away on his own. And so we managed the entire Canadian delegation that was there, it was about 30 people, to all be on the same bus. And that's where I am right now. We're heading back to Cairo. It's about midnight or 12:30 Egypt time. And we'll have to, most of us checked out of our hotels. We'll have to find a place to stay and decide what tomorrow brings.
He was later deported by Egyptian authorities after being detained at a hotel along with a number of other activists. In a series of text messages to the NB Media Co-op, he said that he was transported to the airport in a lockdown prison bus. He then spent several hours in a detention cell at the airport and then was put on a plane. The Global March for Gaza was set to take place amid conditions which the UN has called a looming famine in the Gaza Strip. Reporting from Moncton, this is David Gordon Koch.